Finance team. We have Ferdinand and Marc here. Would you guys like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Look, man, we're really happy to be here with with the BitForex team today and just kind of like share our whole IO price process over the past few weeks. And so I am the business lead of Bictory Finance, and here with me is Marc, the communications lead of Bictory Finance.
Great,
Yeah,
lovely to
super
meet you
excited
guys.
to be here.
So can you tell us a little bit about who is Bictory Finance and what is the vision for Bictory Finance?
Sure. Grab this one quick. So Bictory Finance is a fintech collective that develops blockchain agnostic financial solutions. Bictory Finance aims to develop a complete turnkey solutions to cater to the average and experienced DeFi users' need. We're trying to remain as versatile as possible and grow our blockchain products as much as possible.
Okay, brilliant. So what you mentioned agnostic solutions, and what are the current products that Bictory Finance has specifically? Can you explain what exactly they do?
Definitely, yes. We have Bictory X, Bictory NFT, and Cordium name service. So Bictory Finance's centralized exchange is called Bictory X. The NFT, which is a dual chain NFT marketplace, is Bictory NFT. And Concordium naming service is similar to ENS or CNS or SNS. So yeah, what we have in our bag of blockchain collectives or blockchain products at the moment.
Brilliant. So can you explain a little bit of what they do? So how does the ENS, CNS, and SNS work?
So essentially, Concordium name service is very similar to Ethereum name service and SNM name service. And essentially, what it does is it streams higher payment solution by using layer one ID verification as well, and we allow essentially users to complete a multitude of different processes, payments, ID verifications through the Concordium name service. So we are essentially streamlining absolutely everything for the user, and it's been going pretty well at the moment. Retail taking off, they're loving it, and we've got a couple of corporates that are also really utilizing it for business. So it's been great.
Oh wow, that's fantastic. So could you also share some use cases and fundamentals of Bictory Finance in the crypto and DeFi space? You mentioned your products, so maybe how would these apply? You mentioned in the retail space, how would they apply, and how would they, streamline the DeFi industry?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So essentially, our main focus is to remain or to become chain agnostic in the future. The blockchain space is growing incredibly quickly, and we need to have an eye on constant development, remaining versatile, and sort of, approaching the trends in crypto and approaching the Web3 space with a very open mind, a very singular vision, and that vision is to innovate and to succeed. So essentially, we see our products generating the success and innovation for us, and essentially improving adoption and accessibility to users around the world with our products.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. So why did you choose the Solana blockchain for Bictory Finance? I personally am a big Solana fan, so I know my reasons, but I'd love to hear what your reasons are as to why you chose Solana. And are you also open to going towards a multi-chain future later on?
Oh, yes, definitely. So we're definitely open to being chain agnostic in the future. That's sort of where we're driving towards. And, Solana is a thriving ecosystem. It has a lot of liquidity, and the greater ecosystem is expanding rapidly. We've got a very high level of security and trust within the Solana community, and we see potential, definitely. Am I still live with you guys?
Yeah, yes, we
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I
We
think
can
there
hear
was
you.
a little bit of a glitch there. Sorry, you were continue, please. It got glitched there.
Yes, that's cool. So I was saying essentially we are focusing on has a lot of development happening at the moment. Looking just in the NFT space, for instance, they're absolutely on a tear at the moment. We've seen a large amount of liquidity flocking to the Solana blockchain, and I think it sort of goes back to show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And we look at Solana as something that is very positive for the blockchain space in the immediate. We see a lot of potential, and as a collective, as a fintech collective, we are looking to capitalize on this liquidity, the growing ecosystem, and hopefully bringing our products to the front and reaching the user base. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. No, and you're right. Solana NFTs have absolutely exploded. Whenever I meet friends in the NFT space, they always are going towards Solana NFTs or towards the Solana blockchain. There've been so many new projects on Solana since the last year or two. So very much agree with that. So can you guys sort of share the past and recent achievements that you guys have accomplished with Bictory Finance? So please tell us a bit more about the partners as well that you were mentioning earlier.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. So obviously it's been quite a journey at the moment, and Bictory is very pleased to have achieved this much, especially given the bearish conditions. A lot of people aren't that bullish on crypto anymore. We've seen a lot of big names and people that said that they would never leave, and obviously they aren't around anymore. So essentially we've developed 3 practical and profitable projects with 18 months ready. So it's pretty big for us. We are multi-chain integrated as well. And I think that speaks volumes of how strong our technical ability is at Bictory. We've
Yeah,
really
definitely.
focused on.
Yeah, sorry, Mark. No, the thing is, as Mark mentioned, I think something that needs to be highlighted is the fact that when you look at let's say, a project in the Web 3.0 space, some people build an NFT marketplace, some people build a centralized exchange or a DeFi protocol. Here at Bictory, we've built 3 working and profitable projects within the past 18 months, multi-chain. ETH, Solana, Concordium are now looking to branch out to the Aptos blockchain within, let's say, the next 3 to 4 months. So yeah, I think like Mark said, that speaks kind of to the ambitions of a project, because running one project is difficult enough. Try to scale 3 at the same time in the most bearish conditions right now. I mean, it doesn't really matter where you are on the planet right now. Let's say you're in the United States or in Europe or in Africa or in Latin America. Things aren't great, I would say, economically speaking right now. So, either we're pretty delusional what we're doing right here, or we're confident in what we're doing and what we will achieve and what we will try to succeed in. So yeah, I mean, we're looking to onboard 1 million users within the next 12 months, and that is our target. And yeah, with myself and Mark here, we're looking to push forward and to continuously expand. And market conditions don't really phase us. I think if your main focus is on adding value and consistently developing and scaling your operations, initially or eventually the money will flow, and we'll just keep developing and expanding. So yeah, that's kind of just like how we see it at Bictory at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I think the main thing that I've also been saying is that fundamentally good projects are not going to disappear when market conditions are bad. Essentially, what you're going out there to achieve, the use case you want to establish, is still going to be there, regardless of what the prices are like in the market. So I really appreciate that vision and that ethos that you guys have also maintained. So can you share us some of the challenges, though, given the market conditions? Of course, it's great that you're resilient and you guys are powering through with the mission, but what sort of challenges have you faced given the current market conditions, or perhaps even business specific challenges, and how do you cope with them? Because I always believe that a business that's able to face challenges and cope with them and bounce back is the one that will remain resilient in the future.
Okay, yeah, that's a brilliant question. Okay, so let's take it back to 2020, and we look at DeFi summer. Okay, So you had this explosion of the space post-COVID, and protocols were popping off, and suddenly you had this massive liquidity injection. But at the same time, when you're talking about these decentralized spaces, it also attracts the worst of society at the same time. So you had about $2 billion USD of rug pulls, like let's say over a period of 24 months.
Yeah.
So people are like, okay, cool. We're looking at tier one exchanges being hacked. Like, is this truly safe? Is this a joke? Is this real? And then people, when you look at your hard-earned money, you don't want to lose it on like some smart contract risk, or your money being stolen, or like some infinite mint function in a smart contract, or be it NFTs, or on the centralized exchange side. So one thing that I think we've particularly had, I wouldn't call it a problem per se, but I think it's an industry-wide problem, is to create credibility as well as to leverage it going forward. Because people are like, okay, you have Binance. Why should we trust any other project right now? And I think that's a very good question. I don't think a lot of people can truly answer that question 100%. I don't think it's very easy. But right now, I would say look, the bear market is tricky enough. I mean, you don't really have enough liquidity as opposed to, let's say, November 2021. But at the same time, you just mentioned that, look, fundamentally, you're still trying to do the same thing. The fundamentals haven't changed. And market conditions will improve. Maybe not now, maybe not in 3 months, maybe not in 6, but it will improve. Everything in life, as in markets, it's a seasonal situation. It's cyclical.
Yeah.
It goes up and down, up and
Yeah.
down. So position yourself correctly, scale your operations, leverage your credibility, and move forward. So yeah, that's kind of like how we're looking at it right now at Bictory. What about you, Marc? How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel like we've seen a lot more building happening in the bear market, which is to be expected. People are bored. The market's not as hot as it was a year ago, and people just want to bring something to the market that is going to attract a lot of users. And as soon as this bull market returns with EMU behind it, anything that looks slightly appealing is going to pop off. And it's sort of like it's this illogical cycle that we go through, as we grow this crypto space and as we learn more about crypto. And I think the real projects, I think you said it perfectly. Projects that keep building and keep proving themselves are going to prove their resiliency in the next bull run and going forward. And I think Bictory, I know Bictory's been trying really hard to really to achieve this, you know what I mean, to be this project.
Brilliant. So that sort of leads me into my next question. So how do you see Bictory Finance in a few years from now in the crypto and DeFi space? You mentioned some of your goals, and you mentioned your ethos of resilience and continuing to implement good fundamentals. So where do you guys see Bictory Finance in a few years' time?
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. I think Bictory Finance first needs to distinguish itself. So you have protocols, you've got DeFi protocols, you have centralized exchanges, NFT marketplaces, but Bictory Finance as a whole, or I guess its core ethos exactly, it's a fintech collective that once again develops blockchain agnostic solutions. So we just don't have a look at ETH and Solana and BSC and NEO and all these channels. We look at where solutions are needed, where is the demand, where is the liquidity, what needs to be created in the space, and then we gravitate towards it, effectively creating a suite of products. So we look at it from a company's perspective: what is required, where is the demand, and what do we need to build going forward? Because currently we've got an NFT marketplace, dual chain, Solana, Concordium. We have a centralized exchange currently supporting the ETH as well, the Solana chain. We've got a Concordium name service. We're building a DEX aggregator on Aptos within the next few months. So effectively, we're gravitating to where there is demand, where there is liquidity, and we'll provide a solution forward. So to answer your question, I think we're aiming for Bictory to be, I would say, well, look, we're an ambitious company. We want to be big players in the space, and I think any company starts out small, or any project, or any collective, but we're very ambitious. And I think once again, we've built 3 projects, 3 profitable projects over a period of 18 months. And, our listings going forward, we're in communication with some big tier ones in the immediate. We can't really say too much right now because, due to the non-disclosure agreements and everything that we have with them. But you don't get to speak to tier ones if you don't have something. It's just not possible. So, and within, let's say, the next 2 to 3 weeks, I think people will be pleasantly surprised to see what Bictory has done and will continue to do in the future.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Well, I'd love to hear more about your IDO IEO event. Could you guys share with the users a bit more about it?
Sorry, Mark, you there?
I think we might have another glitch.
Yeah, sorry. I think it might just be
Okay,
the
yeah.
internet here. All right, cool.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah. So obviously we've got our IDO coming up on Communitas and our BitForex and P2B. So that is something that we're really, really looking forward to. A couple of people think we're crazy because we're doing it in a bear market. We think that we've got, the means to make this happen. We've got awesome commercials that are taking off very, very nicely. I think we've onboarded probably 30,000 people in the past month just on our Twitter alone, which is massive. And yeah, the raise isn't too big. We're looking to raise, we're still finalizing everything, but we're raising a little less than $300,000 at the moment, which is 100% doable. And I think with the products we have available right now, just going to the market, I think our IDO it's going to be great, and I'm feeling very positive. Fadi, what do you have to say, bud?
Yeah, no, definitely. Look, once again, this isn't November 2021 when BTC was trading at $69,000 and literally any meme coin or derivative of a meme coin or anything that had an ape or ape club, will go to 10 or 15 or 20 million. I have seen that personally. You wake up in the morning, you look at generic name plus ape, and then suddenly 10, 15, 20 million. So there is money in this space. But right now, things are extremely bearish, right? I mean, you have perma bears calling for ETH at $506. Then you have your total degenerate gamblers calling for ETH at 10,000. So who is really correct? Like the market will decide, not some individual with his 10,000 followers on Twitter. You do not move a market, unfortunately. Your tweets might be pretty cool, but that's kind of like the extent. So yeah, we're very excited to go forward. And like Mark said, we have been rejected a few times, and people have told us, maybe not indirectly, but are you guys crazy? And I think to a certain extent, yes. But at the same time, we're also extremely ambitious, and that makes for something that is a very potent combination. And look, we're going forward. We're listing on multiple exchanges, on our own exchange, NFT marketplace, and all of that. So yeah. Look, we're very confident in what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, we need to have a look at what the market decides. But we believe we've got a bright future ahead of us. And now it's up for the market forces and external forces to decide for us. So yeah, let's have a look. I'm confident, and the team is confident as well.
Well, that sounds so exciting. So, any final reasons as to why users should not miss out on the Bictory Finance upcoming IEO and IDO event?
Yeah, definitely. So once again, we can't say too much. But if you look at, and Marc will kind of like elaborate a little bit more about the NFT plans and the marketplace plans and who our partners are and who our connections are. I think that within the next 3 to 6 months, if you look at any exchange, let's say outside of a top 10, or let's call it the top 50 rather. So you've got your top 20, top 30. But there's a massive market. This is still a very nascent industry, very young. It's still effectively a child, relatively speaking, to let's call it the whole monetary supply of a planet, which is about 400 trillion US. So there's an opportunity going forward. And once again, we think a lot of exchanges have been very complacent since 2018. A lot of collectives have been very complacent, and we're ready to capitalize on the strike and to position ourselves in whatever section of a market we believe or we deem to be the most profitable and where we find liquidity and demand. So yeah, we're very excited. And once again, I would just like to reiterate, we've built 3 working projects, profitable projects, multi-chain projects. I think that deserves an investigation alone as a potential investor on minimum, or at minimum rather.
Definitely. No, I absolutely. So, shall we ask some of the audience some questions? Because they've been asking some brilliant stuff, and
Yeah,
I'd love to hear
definitely.
what you guys have to say. We've got some great questions here.
Definitely.
So, I think we have some time for a few. So, here is what one I think they want to know specifically, and I think we've outlined briefly about it. So, they've said a partnership is essential for adoption. Can you share with us what partners you have now? And if you're allowed to, what ones you are aiming to have in the future? This is by Myra Bender.
Okay, yeah. So I'll just talk on the centralized exchange side, and I think Marc will take it from the NFT side. So once again, you had this problem in 2020, with the legion of rug pulls consistently, and suddenly people were asking, what are we going to do about this? Like, where's the accountability? Where's the legal recourse? And about a year ago, I was introduced to this project called Assure DeFi, which is effectively the premier KYC AML company in the Web 3.0 space. And we had a discussion with them about 6 months ago, and we were like, hey, man, we like what you guys are doing. We want to make the space more safe. I want to use the word inclusive, but yes, that's true. And yeah, so basically right now, whenever we list a project, albeit NFT or a token, we apply the highest possible standards in terms of KYCing, that if something were to happen, God forbid, there is a legal recourse for investors. We apply the highest level of methodology in terms of researching and to see if something is legitimate. So yeah, we also have partnerships with some of the top blockchain audit firms. So effectively, Bictory Finance, and Marc has also mentioned it, we're like a full turnkey service. Do you need NFTs created? Do you need marketing? Do you need an exchange? Do you need something developed for you? We'll just do it for you. So I mean, once again, we're a blockchain collective, or like a fintech collective, and we develop solutions. So yeah, Marc will take the next question.
So the next question is actually from the same user, and I believe we haven't touched upon it. So can you share us your tokenomics? How much is the total and circulation supply for your tokens?
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, now we can.
All good. So we have a total supply of 100 million, and we're going to have 3.7 million supply. So we've got different vesting periods where the tokens will be released, and we've also committed to burning an amount of tokens. And if you compare us to a lot of other projects, we've got a very, very low supply in comparison. Even in comparison, something like VeChain, which is a great blockchain, but they've got massive amounts. I think they have 86 billion tokens. So we've got 100 million dedicated to burning them, 3.7 million in supply at TGE. And yeah, going forward, what I can say is that we are adding tons of utility to this BT token. You're going to be able to use it to help you on the NFT marketplace. And yeah, let's not reveal too much, but we've got a lot planned, guys.
Brilliant. So another question we have is by Art Mintu, and they have said, what about the early adopters? How will you ensure they get a chance in your upcoming project? What are the benefits of being an early buyer into your pre-sales?
Yeah. Well, I think once again, it's all about a risk reward type situation. And if you look at, I think a perfect example is BNB and Binance. Not to compare ourselves with them, but let's just take it from a theoretical perspective. That effectively BNB was utilized to bootstrap Binance, and Binance effectively bootstrapped the whole ecosystem. So before them, you had Arthur Hayes, and then you had Changpeng Zhao from Binance, and effectively we're all here today because of Binance. Let's be realistic here. They are behemoths in the space. But I think if you invest in a project or in a suite of projects initially, it's once again a risk to reward situation where, if this fails, it happens. Businesses fail, projects fail. But being an early adopter in whatever project, even if a project is just remotely viable, if you compare, that viability and you had to extrapolate it like over a figure, you would have a look that even if it does 10x or 20 or 50x, you know, being first in this space is rewarded greatly. That is commonplace across the whole industry. It's buying and investing in project where everybody was like, no, not a good idea. You know, everybody wants to look at the top 10 or top 20 or the top 50. And yes, gains will be made there over a period of time. But truly, if you want to, I would say, succeed in this space, you need to take risks. And
Yeah.
what better risk is there than, you know, investing in a new project? Because all successful projects are initially unproven, untested, you know, ridiculed, met with skepticism, doubt. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on and on. You know, you can have a look at, let's take something like Bitcoin, and you look at the Bitcoin obituary, like over, let's say, the past 10 or 11 years. Like, how many times has it been declared dead? And then suddenly it just goes up again and it just keeps on rising. So once again, look, we're confident, we back ourselves, and we want people to back us as well, because investing in Bictory Finance or investing in BT, it's an investment in the ecosystem. And as we grow, we believe a price of a token will grow as well. You know, that is kind of like the economic analysis or a fundamental belief that we have regarding our token and its place in the ecosystem as a whole.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. I think we have time for one last question from the users. So I seem to see quite a few questions regarding worries of scamming, and that being one of the biggest problems for investors. And we touched upon that earlier about, you know, many rug pulls in 2020 and exit scams. So could you please tell how the investors can be sure that this will be trusted, and how can they have, you know, how can they trust that this project will not become something that things have become in the past?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. So, okay. So let's first discuss it from a infrastructure side. So there have been many exchanges where it's like, quote unquote, security breach, or, you know, it's always something like that. And obviously the CEO ran off to some obscure islands. That's very commonplace. It happens. Well, I wouldn't say it happens weekly, but maybe bi-monthly. You know, it's a very common situation. So first, a few months ago, we decided, look, you know, we want to be transparent in all our dealings, and effectively the whole C-level suite of a company, myself, Marc, and our CEO, we have all been KYC'd, and we're not hiding behind pictures. Yeah, so you can have a look at our LinkedIn, Twitter. We're not paid actors. We're here putting ourselves out there, and, you know, anybody could be Rabbit125 or, I don't know, Table Jumper 123, or like whatever ridiculous name there is. But we're here, we're showing ourselves, and we're not afraid to face backlash or, you know, to change. And, you know, we've been KYC'd. So if something were to happen, let's say I decide to run off to Bermuda and go and buy myself an island in a few months' time, you guys know where to find me. Yeah. So it is, we're not here to hide, and we've been fully KYC'd. And then once again, if you look at our listings and the upcoming tier 1 listings, these guys won't take a chance on you unless they are 100% sure. So I think it's effectively a credibility by association situation as well. Then from the exchange side, currently our smart contract is being audited by Hacken, which is one of the top blockchain audit firms, if not the top, if not the best. And we're doing a pen test, a penetration test as well on our exchange. So we're doing everything from our side to show investors and to show users that, look, this platform is safe. It has been audited multiple times. We spare zero expense on operational security. We've got some of the best devs that, you know, money can buy. So we're not playing around. We're really not playing around. And look, we're a young company and we still have a lot to prove. But I think, once again, what we've built, what we're trying to build, and what we're trying to do, I think it's worth investigating as an investor. So look, everything is publicly available. We're not hiding anything. We're running all the security tests. We are doing everything possible to ensure that an investor can safely transact on the multitude of platforms that we currently have. So yes, I hope that answers the question.
Brilliant. Actually, I think we do have some time for a few more questions. And just a note, 5 users will be rewarded for asking questions. So let's go for the next one. This one's quite interesting because it's to do with NFTs and your marketplace. And can you explain how many types and rarity type NFT types that Bictory will have? What different types of NFTs, the different rarities, and yeah.
All right, cool. Marc, hit it.
Okay, yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, so currently we are revising exactly everything. We're working very hard as a team now to sort of see what we're going to encounter and incorporate into our NFT market platform. One thing that we're looking at right now is also the whole creator royalty saga. A lot of things have happened now with the DeGods NFTs and some big names. Frank from DeGods is one of the pioneers in the NFT space, and with the whole royalty saga, we are definitely addressing that. And without giving too much away, I think also this question in a bit of a different way. We are working with with a project that has, I think at the moment, 5 out of the top 10 listed NFT projects on Magic Eden. Mm-hmm. And if I'd like to go ahead and leverage their credibility, we'll obviously be complying with the most innovative, user-friendly, and community-centered processes in NFT. So I think I hope that answers the question.
Yes, that definitely does. That would be great. Thank you. And we have another question here by this is interesting. I actually really love this question. Nico Loco has asked, what plans do you have to grow rapidly in terms of users, global market, and partners? What are your strategies in building a big and strong community?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So I'll take this one. So we have the internet today, yeah? And one of the beautiful things about this internet that we use today over internet is that it allows one great feature: scalability, infinite scalability, to the extent, let's say, the 7.7 billion people, theoretically speaking, you could reach all of it, because all it needs is an internet connection. And that is something that is, pretty much available everywhere on the planet, barring some extreme places, like I would say, sub-Saharan Africa, or some mountainous region in Eastern Europe, but I would say that pretty much 90 to 95%. I can't quote the exact figures, like how many people have access to it, but it's a substantial part, and I think the whole developed world has it right now. So look, to truly expand and to truly build a community, you need to do one thing and one thing only. You need to add value. That's all it is. I can give this long and elaborate answer about how we're going to do this and like throw in some very nice and cool Web 3.0 buzzwords. But no, we're looking to add value. We want to create a smooth, slick, user-centered interface. We want to assist you in however we can to reach your decentralized finance goals, as a manner of speaking. And we believe by adding value, creating partnerships or striking partnerships with influential players in the space, whether it be on the NFT side or the centralized exchange side, that once again, word of mouth is extremely powerful. You can spend infinite amounts of money, but word of mouth, Marc telling me, hey man, look at this protocol, me telling you, have a look at this protocol, it's truly powerful. So once again, we're just looking to add value, to continuously scale, and the market will decide for us, not some ridiculous Web 3.0 buzzword like inclusivity or this. You need to add value. You need to address a solution. You need to provide solutions for where there is something. Don't try and fix something where there isn't a problem. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. But yeah, that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to add value and leverage that and continuously scale our operations. And that's the gist of it.
Brilliant. I really like that approach. We have a question by Bernadette, kind of like in the Big Bang Theory. She asked, he or she asked us, are you planning to launch a mobile app? If so, is it possible to use it as a cold wallet?
Yeah, so I'll take that one. So a cold wallet, I assume that Bernadette is referring to something like a hardware wallet or like a paper wallet, something like a Ledger or a Trezor. So no, that is not something. I will leave that to the experts. We'll leave that to Trezor and Ledger for the immediate, because that's a hardware wallet, and you have paper wallets, but that is an extremely, I wouldn't call it outdated per se, but it's a very advanced thing. So yes, we will be developing an app Q1, and we do employ the highest level of security and safeguards for our hot wallets. And we do have some funds. We obviously not going to disclose how much that we've moved to cold storage per se, but yes, there will be an app developed in Q1 2023, and yes, it will be available on iOS as well as the Play Store.
Brilliant. What someone asked, I'm just trying to find it because these questions are coming in so rapidly. Here we are. Andrea Lynn, so I think this will be the last question. Andrea Lynn has asked, oh gosh, the question's gone again. Where is it? Oh yes. Sometimes plans do not work correctly as what we think. So do you have backup plans if your roadmap does not go in the right direction?
Yeah, I'll
Yes.
take this one. Yeah, so sorry, Mark, you can continue.
Oh, sorry, but I think it lagged a bit. So essentially, that's also why we have this multi-pronged approach. We've developed different blockchain products so that we aren't caught, dawdling with only one product that potentially doesn't work. And I think that's sort of the name of the game at Bictory. We're trying to remain as innovative and versatile as possible. And for instance, our DEX aggregator, we are making, I wouldn't call it quick decisions, but I'd call them very calculated decisions that are going to benefit the growth of the company. That's the name of the game. And if some things don't work out as perfectly on the roadmap, you can be sure that the adjustment is going to be as good or even better.
Yeah, and I would just like to add to Mark's position there. I think what also differentiates Bictory from a lot of projects is that many other people in the company, they also have traditional finance or TradFi experience. Myself, having worked in investment banking, and it's not to show myself. It's to show that there's also real life experience in this company. And one of the things that we're looking at, you need to be able to pivot, and your roadmap is dynamic. Not dynamic in the sense that it changes every day or two, but you need to be able to pivot. And I think once again, let's leave all these keywords out and Web 3.0 buzzwords. It comes down to profitability. Is your income greater than your expense ratio? Yes or no? If yes, how do we scale? If no, what do we do? And that's all it comes down to from our side. We need to make money. We need to provide value to our investors, to any relevant parties or stakeholders in Bictory, and once again, add value to clients, scale the operations, and yeah, that is what we are looking to do. And if not, external market forces will decide for us what happens with this company. We can do our best. We can implement the solutions. We can look to scale, and then yeah, that's basically how we see it.
Brilliant. Thank you guys so much for sharing insights on Bictory Finance and the upcoming IDO and IEO. So I'm sure the users are very grateful. It was great to have you guys on here.
All right. Yeah, we really appreciate the time, and we're looking forward to the whole IEO.
Amazing.
Thanks so much. Great.
All right. All right.
Bye,
Goodbye, everybody.
everyone.
All right. Goodbye.
Cheers, guys.